Welcome to Omega Reports. In this video, we are going to show how to add a registration to your database. Now, Omega Reports views registrations and clients differently. It views clients as the actual individual, the persons and their address, their social security number, their phone number, etc. And it views the registration as the account that the investment was actually made into. So if you need to add a new registration, on the left-hand side, you go to Registrations. You're brought by default to the new registration form. You go to Registration Name, and you type the registration name. So for instance, if we're wanting to add a registration for John Smith, we would first have to know, is this John Smith's individual account? Is this an IRA account? Is this a joint tenant account? Once we know that information, then we can type it into this box. I always recommend that you put the last name, you put a comma, a space, then the first name, and then put a dash, and then what type of registration it is. So if this was an individual account, we type IND. If it was an IRA, we would type IRA. If it was a joint tenant account, we could put JTWROS, or whatever kind of account it is, just so we can see at a glance the last name, so it's alphabetized correctly, and we can see very quickly which account specifically this is. Now, obviously, if this is the only account for this particular client's name, we can leave it just as is with John Smith. So for this, we're just going to do IND. Then down here, we need to select the registration type. So we're going to select individual. Now this information in the registration type drop-down box is not actually shown on the report, but instead is just stored on the back-end information in the back-end database. Now the next option you have is Include in Batch Report. Now the batch report is going to be all of the registrations that have their batch report option selected. It generates a report for all of those. So let's say you have 300 different batch report registration selected, then when you generate a batch report, it's going to print the report for all 300 of those. So for John Smith, we're going to leave this blank. We have his name, we have the registration type, and we're going to go ahead and click Submit. Click OK, and that's all there is to it. So that's all it takes to add a registration. As you see, it takes at most 30 seconds, and you've added it, and you're good to go. So as always, Omega Reports tries its hardest to keep things simple. But if you have a way to further enhance the program, or you have a suggestion for us, you can always contact us. Otherwise, you can keep viewing our videos. We have a whole library set up so that you can further educate yourself on how to use Omega Reports. This is Omega Reports, where we always keep it simple. Thank you.